Hey, what's up, everyone? Back at it once again. So great to be with you all for another Beers with Brooks. Let's open one up, shall we? Oh, got a little on my laptop. No big deal. It's good to see everyone. Brooks here, as always, presented by our friends at Best One of Indy. We're also on our Best One Facebook page as well. It's always great to be here and catch up with you all. Be sure to leave some comments, say hello, ask questions, all that good stuff as we get through another week ahead. I can't believe we're 9 days away until Christmas, which is absolutely absurd to think about. Oh, we got Marcus in the house. Hello, Marcus. I literally have had like one sip of beer and I'm already burping. Forgive me. What's going on, Marcus? It's great to be with you guys, though. Great to chat. I know it's been kind of after all things Fan Jam kind of unfolded, things kind of, it was like, all right, let's take a breath, holidays and whatnot. And now we're back after it. Heading into 2021, there'll be more of a podcast element to Beers with Brooks, which I'm very, very excited about. We might step outside of the world of country music a little bit and chat with some other people with some great stories too. We've talked to a lot of artists. We've had almost 50 episodes of Beers with Brooks and it's been so much fun. But you know what? We got to just do, keep on moving forward and keep evolving as we continue this. And I want to keep providing great content for all of you guys, including Margaret. Hello, Margaret. How are you? Great to have you on with us. It's cool to see some people on our YouTube channel as well. That's something we just started recently with Fan Jam. So that's awesome. I doubt Jenna's watching right now, but a huge happy birthday shout out to Miss Jenna Ray. Yep. I know Naomi's doing a meet and greet right now, so she'll be running a few minutes late. Thank you, Alexis. It'll be nice to chat with her though, as yes, Miss Naomi Cooke, the recently engaged Naomi of Runaway June. It's going to be super cool. Literally made the announcement that we were having her on, and then literally maybe within an hour of that on our social media, I see a big old rock on her hand. And honestly, it was funny because I didn't even notice it at first. And then I was like, oh, hello. Okay. So that's pretty cool. In fact, if you do have questions for Naomi, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm really excited to chat with her too. I've heard her story a couple of times, and it's quite the story too. A lot to take in and hear about, and I'm really excited to share with you all. You're drinking cider, Alexis? What kind? That's awesome. Cider sounds good right now, actually, as I'm just drinking beer for the sake of Beers with Brooks. I know it's funny because I say, this is Beers with Brooks, but I've been kind of diving into, like, oh yeah, just like Caitlin, you're drinking wine. I've been diving into wine a little bit. I've been messing around with tequila. I've been a big tequila fan as of late. Terramana, it's the Rocks brand of tequila. I love it. Just like on ice, mixing a little soda water and lime. But for the sake of the show, and you know what, the reason why I started Beers with Brooks is because I think some of the best conversations you have are over a couple beers. So all about it. Alexis, white wine is the move. What kind of white wine? I'm a red. I prefer red, but like a Sauvignon Blanc I like because it's not as sweet. I'm very, very excited about Total Wine opening. Total Wine and More opening here in Indy. I've already been stocking up on wine there. Tea on the proposal is needed. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to do everything I can to get you some tea. All of the tea. I don't know why my mouse is being a little glitchy right now. I think it's because of the beer I spilt. Let's try that again. Alexis, if you're broke and you don't venture too much, really. You guys still there? Sorry about that. Literally because I spilt that beer, the mouse started glitching and it even closed out of here. But yeah, so barefoot. I get that. Yeah, like I said, if you like a good cheap wine, Charles Shaw from Trader Joe's, $3. They have the sweet stuff, the white zin. You are in good shape there if you like cheap wine. This is from Caitlin. Naomi spilled the whole proposal story on this other meet and greet, and it's adorable. Well, hope you don't mind hearing it again, Caitlin, because I'm definitely going to be asking about it. I love it. Well, yeah, I know. I got a call that this was right next to it, so she might be a little bit late, and that's no big deal because I needed to catch up with you guys, anyways. Right on, Alexis. Yeah, let me know. I'm at Brooks Radio on Facebook too. Just message me on there and then tell me what you think. Me and my buddies, like one of my college buddies, we always have this tradition. It sounds awful, but we get a bottle of it, the sweeter stuff, the white zin, and we literally have a chugging challenge. It's terrible. It's like the ultimately college move. And the heartburn you get from it. But it's been an ongoing competition. Like it literally is like an annual thing, even though I'm however many years removed from college. You'd love to hear it again, right on, Caitlin. Well, we will make it happen. We will make it happen. Slide away, Alexis. The group looks so happy when they do shows. Yeah, I've seen a couple things that they've done recently. It's like you can totally tell that. I think everyone just seems so happy to be performing in some capacity, and I think we're all happy to like the when Morgan Wallen announced that the live stream. Like I've always been like, oh, cool, live stream, whatever. But I think we're at the point now where it's like, yes, this will be awesome. I can't wait to see it just because it's been so long since we've had anything and especially when it's a full band too, that's so cool. So I'm all about it. Also, if you haven't followed us on Instagram and Twitter, Twitter is at WFMS. Instagram is at 95.5 WFMS. I'm on Brooks Radio, literally all across the board. Button too, if you haven't, I definitely appreciate it. Yes, sparkling water and tequila. I don't usually do like a flavored like a LaCroix or anything, but the club soda, tequila, club soda, and lime. It doesn't get much better than that. Especially like I feel like I never get hangovers from it either. Okay, Caitlin, you're okay. I'll let you promote this. I love it. I'm like I said, I'm super excited to have Naomi on, and so actually, and the plan is we'll eventually have everyone on as part of this individually, just so we can. Oh, and on Twitter, right on. Have everyone on too between Jennifer and Natalie, because I just wanted to be able to get everyone's stories individually instead of like sometimes on StreamYard, it's fun to have these conversations and stuff like that. But you also want to have the one-on-one and actually get to know each member respectively. So that'll be cool. And I'm looking forward to asking any and all of your questions too. I'll be sure to pop them up as they go along. So what else are you guys up to tonight? Oh, I got you, Alexis. I got you. I will do it right now, literally, and as we await Miss Naomi to join us. Okay, so it's at Runaway News. If I had known, I would have tagged you guys in the post just to get the hype going. Runaway News. Oh wait. Yes, I'm literally looking up an Instagram during this. All right, just followed. Got you. But yeah, so that's that's for the most part. It's so funny now, like for how busy we are normally in radio. I always feel like winter, like I am a real one. Heck yeah. I love it. So yeah, I always like around winter time, like the holidays, it always kind of does slow down for radio because there's not really a lot of concerts going on. Usually we're all just kind of, holiday mode and stuff like that. And so it's one of the few times where it's really slow outside of, this year in the pandemic. We've had a lot of waves of busyness and slowness. So hopefully things will pick back up heading into 2021. I'm feeling hopeful about concerts, all that good stuff. And hopefully these Beers with Brooks will happen in person versus on Facebook and everywhere, YouTube, so on and so forth. But it's cool that you guys made on here. So who else? So I know Caitlin, Margaret, one of you guys. Okay, Caitlin, you were on the meet and greet. That's how is it, or how was it? I'm assuming it's still going on since we're hanging out. Margaret is a real one too. I love it. You better. Yeah, I wanna hear about the meet and greet action going on, because I know we had a few. It's over now, right on. So I know. We had a few Zoom meet and greets and stuff like that, and it's been fun. It's funny trying to like involve everyone with it instead of everyone kind of talks over each other and stuff like that. And so typically, like I've always like moderated them and then just kind of bring people in one-on-one. But then I always feel like the bad guy cutting off a conversation. Like, all right, on to the next one. But that's just how it goes. It was a group Zoom. Didn't get to speak one-on-one, but always good to hear from them. Yeah, no, that's like I know with radio sometimes we do these group Zoom calls too, and sometimes it might not even have any like direction, so to speak. It's just like, all right, well, here's 15 minutes, you and a bunch of radio people, and as you can imagine, we like to talk, so we all kind of talk over each other and we cut each other off left and right. And so sometimes they can be a mess, but it can be chaos, but at the same time, it's still, it's the new norm, and that's okay. At least for now. For some charities, fair enough. Fair enough. That's awesome. I'm glad that they've been involved. It's been nice. I've been wanting to have Runaway June on for a while now. As we, like schedules and different singles being promoted and whatnot. It's like juggling 3 people versus 1 can always be tough. And even 1, sometimes it's like we have busy schedules, even if we are in quarantine. But it's been really cool to have this opportunity. 42 times last year to just twice this year. Oh yeah. Well, hey, 42 times, that's impressive. That's very impressive. What's the farthest you guys traveled to see them? It's kind of fun. It's fun. I always love it when the hardcore fans are on, just because it's cool to, I guess, hear about the fandom and the stories behind it. I just got a text any minute. No worries. We'll see how many beers I can go through by the time we're done here. Lots of charity work going on right now. Absolutely. Yeah, it's that time of year. And also what's cool is too, seeing how many people have been generous enough to be involved too and contribute. I mean, we've had a lot of things like radiothons and stuff like that. We had our toy drive for not Toys for Tots, Child Advocates recently, and to see the turnout, especially in 2020 when times have been pretty tough. Very tough. It's so cool to see. Flew to Cali and Boston, farthest drove about 13 hours. That's pretty good. That is impressive. So coast to coast, pretty much. Almost in Canada one time. Solid. So eventually overseas would be the goal, I'm assuming. $100,000%. Love it. What else do we have going on as a station? There's a few things I wanted to hit on. Nice giveaway during Jim, Deb, and Kevin this week, Tuesdays and Fridays. Getting ready for the holiday season. We start playing some Christmas tunes as we had our first snowfall in Indy. First, like, legit snowfall, not like wintry mix kind of action. So I was like, haven't really been in that much Christmas spirit yet. But then once I woke up this morning, it was like, okay, here we go. Like, I started playing the Christmas music. I was all about it. All about it. If you guys haven't already, be sure. I mean, at least when Naomi comes on, you're more than welcome to share this as well. More ladies on the radio. Amen. That was one really cool thing to see this year. Looking at the top Billboard songs in country for 2020. I mean, it was Gabby Barrett, Maren Morris, Carly Pierce was on there. But like literally the top ones, it was two females back to back. So it was like so awesome to see that. I mean, you had Ingrid Andress going number one. So, I mean, Miranda Lambert this year, you had the biggest, Maddie and Tay, some of the biggest hits this year were from women. And honestly, like, I'm a huge fan of so many female artists. So I was super happy to see that, and super happy to just play a small role in that. But I mean, the credit goes to these incredible artists. But I do hope to continue to help create that change, still being pretty new to the format, because I know that's a huge thing, and it's been an uphill battle, but I feel like it's been a long time coming. It's because of the different platforms, because we're also on YouTube versus Facebook. So, and then I think maybe even because we're on streaming on like 5 platforms right now. So like different Facebook pages and YouTube. So if it might even just have to do with like specific pages too, but at the very least, Facebook versus YouTube. It was pretty funny too with we had our huge fan jam. It was a huge show day after Thanksgiving, and people were like, who's team Facebook? Who's team YouTube? As they're watching. And so it was pretty funny to see the battle of everyone watching. But it's cool to also be able to do this on multiple platforms too, because I want everyone to be able to watch it and take part. I'm seeing where everyone's on here. Okay, so yeah, it's mostly our Facebook page and then a couple on YouTube as well. That's awesome. So I almost feel like I should I still have the Scotty McCreery performances on here. I could always play those again. But no, I appreciate you guys staying on here and hopping on, and as we await Naomi's arrival. I'm sure the schedule between meet and greets and all this stuff can be quite busy sometimes. If you guys want to ask me anything, ask me any question right now as we await. I'll do for every question, I'll take a drink. How about that? Oh, there we go. Think we got it. All right, I'm gonna add you now in 3, 2, 1.
You sound like you're underwater, so let me just try this one more time, okay?
Word.
All right, Brooks. I'm just gonna hang up and then try it back in.
Do your thing. And if you're watching, for those that are watching, how do I sound? Just because I want to make sure it's not just a common thing and it's a personal problem. Okay, you can hear me fine. Perfect. Thanks, Justin. Glad to have you on with us. Let me see. I see it going.
Hey, let me try this.
Sounds good. Let me see if I can always.
So Brooks, I can see you really good, but I can't hear you. You sound like an alien. It's like blah, blah, blah.
That's so funny too, because
there you are. This is good.
We're good?
Yeah, you're clear now.
Perfect. We made it.
I am so sorry. Our last thing went like 25 minutes over. I'm so sorry.
So I got the heads up and I was like, oh, okay, no worries. I can I can stall and whatever. And then and also you have some amazing fans that were commenting and keeping things rolling the entire time. Yes. So it was yes. I loved it.
Yeah, and Jimmy Allen wouldn't hush. So
oh right. Yeah, so you had a virtual meet and greet action going on?
Yeah.
I love it.
It was great.
So how are you? I'm fantastic. Of course, literally. So it was funny because yesterday confirmed and then shared our graphic on socials promoting this. And then, you share a little something on your Instagram. No big deal. Yeah. Congratulations. First off.
Thank you. Yes. I'm engaged. What he's talking about. Just got
engaged. Yes.
We don't want people to think I'm pregnant.
Right. I could break some news too, but I'm just kidding. But seriously, a ton of questions on here we're all like, will you please ask her about the engagement, the story? Aww. Some people want to hear it again that we're on the meet and greet. So I'm like, all right, okay. Fair enough. So right to it. How did it all happen?
So I'm in Utah, and me and my fiance both ski. So he's been out here for a couple weeks, and so I flew in from Nashville, and we went to dinner, and this town that we're in is just like, it's so beautiful. It's just like covered in Christmas. Like they go all out here for Christmas. It's literally like something from down in Whoville from the Grinch. It's so beautiful. And so we popped in some shops and we were kind of walking around. It was like lightly snowing. And, you know, I came from Nashville where it's just slushy. It's just cold and like overcast. So I was really enjoying it. And he was like, hey, let's get in the car and we'll drive up to the top. There's this overlook kind of area in one of the neighborhoods. And you can kind of look out over the whole town. And he's like, let's go up there and really see the Christmas lights. And I was like, okay. So we drove up and we stopped at the overlook place. And as far as you can see, there's just all of these, just thousands of Christmas trees. And so he turned on the James Taylor Christmas album and we got out in the street and we were dancing and kissing. And he was like, I stopped and I looked at him and I was like, can it get any better than this? Like,
oh, shut up.
Like
no way.
Out of 10. I'm not even kidding. And he goes, okay, that's it. I'm doing it now. Like got down on his knee in the snow and was like, I can't be your boyfriend for one more minute. Like, will you marry me? It was just the best. It was like a movie.
That's awesome. I was
floored. I was like, what?
I mean, your caption said it all. I mean, judging by your nails, you were surprised.
I got them done now, though. They're done.
Well, you got to have the photo op, right?
Gotta have it. Yeah. If I'm going to be sending pictures of my hands around, Lord.
Alexis is on here. She says she's literally crying. Caitlin says that's so freaking cute. I love it.
Girls.
No, that's seriously so cool. I texted Brittany right away. I said, well, all right, engagement party. Here we go.
You're the very first one to get the scoop.
I know, right? I love it. But no, it's that's super cool. That's super exciting. I mean, I always felt like it seemed like you're fairly private. I feel like relationship stuff. I mean, every now and then sharing stuff, but is that always kind of been the intention, or is it just always kind of been that way, or do you guys just like to kind of stay off of that attention, so to speak?
Yeah, I think, everyone's a little different with how they feel about it and how they want to share their lives. And, the lines keep getting redefined. And, the further we get down the road with social media and virtual, living kind of virtual, it's like, you just kind of have to recreate those boundaries. But I just think it's like, I have a big family, Brooks, and I think, you can give it away over time. You can't really ever get it back. It's like, if you ever give something away that you want back, it's like, it's really hard to get that back. And so I'm just naturally a little bit more private. I don't really think that people really care that much.
I don't know. Judging by these comments, I feel like people do.
Yeah, but they do. And it's really sweet. I just, I would say I'm a little bit more private, but I don't judge people who aren't, it's what my comfortability is. And, I really like people to focus more on the music that I make and, less on the relationships that I have. And, I'm not so private where I don't talk about it or share anything, but it really isn't what I focus on outwardly.
No, I get that completely. I've been in both stages where I've been very open, and especially, I mean, with my job, like half of the stuff is sharing personal life.
Yeah.
And, and then, but I've also been like, well, because I've been that cliche couple that's like fighting the entire, maybe climbing, up something, whatever. And then, oh, well, smile for a photo. And it's like,
yeah, you get it. Yeah,
not my kind of thing. So, I love the comments here. By the way, I've already seen asking to be your flower girl. I've seen invite requests. I've seen everything. So, I'm sure.
For adoption.
Have you seen? Or have you received? Just has your phone been blowing up ever since?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a big part of the fun is kind of telling everybody, and people are so excited for you, and the fans and people who follow me and who really care are just have been so sweet and supportive, and it's been really heartwarming seeing how happy everyone is, and that it's been 2020 has been so rough on relationships and just on people in general. So it's like, I think people are really happy to see new love. Me, myself included. I've seen a lot of babies be born. I've seen a lot of people like, who are going to get married, kind of push pause on it and then be like, hey, you know what? We don't have the power to push pause on life. We have to make this happen. And, none of us are promised tomorrow. So like, let's just keep it rolling how we can. And it's been really sweet to see the response back from everybody. It's been really nice.
That's super cool. You mentioned the large family. It's funny because I've always wanted to talk to you because I heard an interview. I couldn't remember how long ago, but it was cool because you've got such a wild story, and but it ended up like in such a cool way. You mentioned the large family. You lived on a bus.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So how how did that just kind of go about?
So my parents are hippies. Let's start there. They kind of, I think that they were searching for a long time, even when they were young. They wanted to live a kind of an alternative lifestyle. This is back before Instagram. This is back before really anything like that. Like email was kind of like even, it's so weird. It wasn't that long ago, but it's true. You saw people living in school buses here and there in magazines or things like that. But there's no blogging or anything.
Yeah, it's become so trendy now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. It really has. There's a lot of really cool people that are doing it. But it was me and my 8 brothers and sisters. So there were 9 of us on the bus. And we traveled around the United States. My mom was a midwife growing up. And so she taught seminars on alternative child rearing, homeopathic medicine, and home births. And she was really highly sought after midwife on the East Coast. And so it started off like my parents bought this school bus, they renovated it, and they started doing kind of like tours where she would get booked and she would do these seminars and conferences and stuff. And we ended up doing that for like 4 years, 4.5, almost 5 years in this bus.
And how old were you at the time then?
I was, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I was almost 11 when we parked it, when we got out.
One impressionable time too.
Yeah, it was. I learned a lot. You learn in this. It's crazy. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like everything in your life that happens to you or in the choices that you make are preparing you for your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I was one of 9 kids in this bus traveling, and I was literally being built for this life that I live now. I literally live in a bus with 7 other people, and I tour around. And I'm like, I feel more at home than ever, so it's interesting. And you share one bathroom with everybody, and people are loud in the front. You come out, you're like, you guys be quiet, we're trying to sleep back here. It's very, very much the same.
So does 2020, where you're not moving around as much and you're a little bit more, in place, are you more uncomfortable because of how you were raised in a sense, or are you still comfortable because you were used to being uncomfortable, if that makes sense?
That's a very good question. I think there's a little bit of everything. I don't think I'm unique in that sense. I think everyone is feeling a little claustrophobic and fidgety and afraid of the barriers that are now in place that are not going to allow people to feel like they can expand at their or grow to their biggest potential. I think everyone is a little bit afraid of that, no matter what kind of job you're in. But I have made a promise to myself that even with the new restrictions and the way that the world is being shaped right now, I'm going to find a way to enjoy life the best that I can. So I'm still traveling and being as safe as I can with that, but there's a lot of opportunity for growth still. And yes, I do feel kind of fidgety when I'm sitting still too long. I by nature, I'm a little bit more of a gypsy. So even if I can't be in big crowds, I like to be on the go when I can. I like to hike, and I'm outside a lot. And so movement is kind of how I am able to generate creativity. And but it's not as easy as it once was, yeah, I feel kind of like I got to learn. I'm like a kid in the back seat. You got to learn how to be patient. But at the same time, I'm trying to figure out where I can still do things.
I get that completely. I mean, it was one of those things. I remember when this all started, there's that initial panic, if you will.
Yeah.
But then it kind of clicked. It was like, no, this is such a cool opportunity to, like, I remember, I was like, no, I gotta get outside more and be more active and stuff like that. And since you're not on the road, or since I'm not going to work at all these events, I don't have to even worry about like meal prepping and stuff like that. I cook every day and all of these great things. So it was like, okay, well, you know what? This really is, as cliche as it sounds, it is what you make it. And it looks like you've been doing that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. How about you? Have you had to be, how have you felt? Have you felt kind of fidgety, or are you feeling kind of like you're getting in the groove now? Or
it's funny, I didn't originally, because I think at the end of the day, I can be relatively homebody just because of the job, and we have so many events. Definitely like a situational extrovert, where it's like, all right, let's go be super social. And then say, like, after, and this is why I always am so impressed with how you guys do this when you're on the road so much, where you have these waves, the adrenaline rush when you're on stage and meeting everyone. And then like that's awesome. And I love that feeling. And then I need to like pause for a day or two. But like having that and going from that to like this, it's like, okay, well, it's like you're charging your batteries, but now it's like I've charged them way too much. Like eventually you got to take your iPhone off the charger, otherwise your battery is gonna end up. So
yes, it's interesting. We played. We sang the national anthem in Dallas for the National Rodeo Finals, and it's the first time I've been on stage. And they opened that stadium to half capacity, so I think there was about like 20,000 people there still, even at half capacity. And it was, Brooks, I'm telling you. So you travel a lot. It's hard on your body. You really have to get into a certain amount. You have to get into a certain type of shape to do it, and to kind of like, knock it out. And you get used to it to a degree. But when you're off the road, you get used to that. So it was like, we went out on stage and I just felt the biggest bust of adrenaline. And then it was like, bam. And then like 35 minutes later, there's a crash. But when you're doing it all the time, you get used to it. It's like you get used to that high and you really ride it and you perform at your best. And then there's a crash and you kind of ride that. And you can physically feel it in your body. And so I haven't been doing any of that. I've been in songwriting rooms and like, on Zoom, and it took me out. I was like, it took me up straight down. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like I felt like out of control with it. It just felt like, whoa, I'm out of shape right now. Like,
right.
So many other ways you have to be in shape that you forget about, so
totally. And I get that completely, because I mean, we barely, we don't do nearly as much of that kind of stuff. I mean, it's more one-on-one conversations and stuff like that, at events and stuff. And, we'll be on stage and whatnot.
Yeah, but there's a thing to it where you have to turn on, you're on, so it really does, you kind of you enhance your own personality, so to speak. Was there a crowd at the rodeo, or was it just? Yeah.
Okay.
So they
So
opened it. Yeah, they opened it half capacity, and I mean, it was a huge stadium, and I think that they had 18 to 20,000 were allowed in there. That was half capacity.
mhm. So I mean, yeah, you still felt that like where you're
Yes.
really performing in front of people.
Yes. Yeah, you could hear it, you could feel it, and and the rodeo has a special thing, and and I think it was extra. We felt it even that much more because we haven't done it in so long, and it feels so unknown right now. Like when we are able to perform, we're just kind of absorbing the whole thing. So it was extra emotional, but I mean, it was pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, whoa, this is something. I just get used to this feeling, and when you're not, it's like it takes you up and then it slams you right back down.
Right. It's like, I mean, it's like when you have your drink for the first time in a while, it's like, whoa, okay.
Yes. Yeah, after a cleanse. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, here we go. That's a good segue because I've seen you post these things on socials, and I've always wanted to ask you about this. Tell me about this herbal fusion drink that you're all about.
Okay. So this is an herb drink that I've been drinking since I was a little kid. My mom was an herbalist and a midwife. So they're called nourishing herbal infusions. They are
Herbal
there's a difference.
infusions, not
Yeah,
fusions.
no, herbal infusion. So it's different from tea. So people get this mixed up with a tea. Teas are a small amount of herbs with a lot of water. And they have a bit of nutrients, but this is a large amount of herbs with about a quart of water, and it's just packed full of nutrients. It's basically like a meal replacement, but super antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. And then I just mix in different ones that have different medicinal properties. So the ones that I was using were like, at the time when I was drinking them a ton. This year, I really ramped it up and I bought some stuff that was like really good for your lungs because of COVID,
Yeah, smart.
So I did lungs. And then I also, because the road life, it depletes your body so much. I just was taking certain herbs that, one of them is called nettles. One of them is called comfrey. There's linden flower, and they're just super high antioxidants. They literally just replenish your cells. Kind of like 3 to 5 times more powerful than an IV. They're pretty dope.
So the first time you have one, is it kind of intense then?
Yeah,
Like in terms of how you feel?
yes. So you'll get a ton of energy, but it's not caffeine, so it doesn't affect your sleep. It actually
Hmm.
can really help your sleep because of the regeneration of your cells. So your cell turnover is really high. You literally, you notice it in your skin immediately. It aids in weight loss just because you feel full. They're packed full of protein, but it's it's a fast feeling. Like you feel it in 2 or 3 days. It's like if you need to pick me up, they'll do the trick.
So I'm really curious about this. So
Okay.
for a first timer, like what would you recommend then? Like what would you recommend getting, whatever the case may be?
So there's a couple different places that I buy my herbs from. You need to buy them in bulk. So you're gonna get a ton of, like, the bags are about like they're 2 to 5 pounds.
Hmm.
And I recommend, and also hit me on the side and I'll give you a list of
Totally.
stuff that you want. But just for the people listening, I use nettle leaf,
Okay.
comfrey, and I use red clover flower, linden flower, and oat straw. So I
Okay.
use those 5. I do not mix them. I do
No,
each one alone. So, and
that's
then
good because I was curious about that too.
yeah, you don't mix them. You drink each one by themselves. So you'll have 5 quart jars, and you do each one individually. And then you drink 2 a day, 1 a day, and they keep for about 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
And there's
That's
a little, yeah.
that's awesome. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
No. Oh, there's the process is you need to let them sit for so when you pour the hot water, you do an ounce of herb to a quart of water. So 4 cups of
Okay.
water to an ounce. And you need an ounce, no less. And you pour the hot water over top and you let it sit for 6 hours or overnight. And I'll send you all of this too if you really want.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Please do.
And so what it does is the difference with it steeps for a long time because minerals take a long time to extract from a plant.
Mm-hmm.
And the minerals are what helps your cells really turn over and absorb the other micronutrients. So you get you get so many micro minerals in these drinks. You will feel a huge difference in just like your overall health. And oat straw enhances your mood. So you
Totally.
feel kind of happy, and it's great. And these are natural herbs and plants that are put here for our benefit. You don't have to take prescriptions that hurt your organs in other ways. And it's really helped me to feel like I can do a rough week or, get through a sickness. It's like, when you get hit with the flu, your fever, your nausea, all of that stuff is your immune response. But if you strengthen your body, you don't really feel those immune responses as heavy. So if you get sick, it's a little bit more mild.
Right. That makes a ton of sense. Like I said, I've seen it on Instagram and stuff like that, and been like, okay.
And then
Like
comfrey is really good for your bone strength. It used to be called knit bone. And my boyfriend so get this. This is crazy, Russ.
Your fiance.
My fiance, thank you. He broke his tib fib skiing last year, and he healed 3 months ahead of schedule.
Wow.
Drinking these herbal infusions. 3 months.
That's amazing.
His doctor was like, but he was doing ice baths too, which I'm sure you've heard of those. Those are crazy. So he was doing ice baths, and then I kept him on this herbal infusion drink, 2 or 3 times a day. And the comfrey literally helps you knit your bones back together. It's wild. So I saw it really firsthand. I've never taken it for bone break, but I kind of keep it just to keep my bones healthy. And it 3 months ahead of schedule is crazy,
That's wild. I mean, I think
can talk all day about this. It's like one of my passions.
No, it's super cool because I've had, so not to get all making it about me, but I've had wild ups and downs health wise and stuff like that. And, because originally I was super, super heavy and lost a ton of weight, but it was way too quick, not in a healthy way. I did some yo-yo program. And so I literally lost maybe almost 200 pounds. And
wow.
But in a very short period of time too, so it was not a healthy weight loss. So then,
it wasn't a healthy weight loss. Did you have health problems from that?
No, it was just because it was just such a extreme caloric deficit that it was. Literally, I was losing so much muscle. It was not enough calories. I was definitely eating good and real foods for the most part, but I was still learning and educating myself because growing up in just an environment where I had no knowledge of nutrition at all. And then, from that, a lot of ups and downs and stress and stuff like that, and still just re-educating. And so now it's been that progression again, but this time doing it the best way possible and the healthiest way possible.
Well,
as much as I can.
Congratulations on 200 pounds. That is unbelievable.
Thank you.
It's feat. I know what it's like to try to lose 5 pounds, buddy. It ain't easy.
It's but again, and now I'm not even so much this time around, so to speak. Again, I've always wanted to learn more about the health and how you feel more than the number on the scale.
Yes.
And just being active and stuff like that and whatnot. So it's
so interesting. It really is. It's just something you have to learn, and it's that information and learning that is just not available to most people. And I was lucky that I was brought up in an environment where my mom was super earthy and holistic, and we had a garden, and she was really ahead of her time with that stuff. So knowing where my food came from, caring what I eat when I'm 10, it's really not how people really are normally. didn't go to public school, so I didn't eat school lunches, which we all know are awful for kids. And
Yeah, I ate plenty of those.
Yeah, so it's like, but it's something I'm really interested in. I love anytime people ask about the herbs, I get really excited because it's really helped a lot of people. I had so many people hit me up out on Instagram when I was doing that. Maybe I had no idea it was going to spread like that, but it's helped a ton of people. People are really interested in it. I swear by them.
Well, now, especially with, I mean, how diet culture and so much is happening, and there's so much information, some beneficial, some a lot not, and counterproductive. I mean, the amount of things I've done that I was like, in hindsight, well, you're just because you don't know.
Trial and error. Yeah. I mean, I do it too still. Like, I'm very experimental, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to try that, see what it feels like, or see what happens if I, try these foods, or, I don't do anything too crazy with diet. I don't really need to lose a ton of weight, but I really like to experiment. It's just something I kind of like to do.
Totally. So on that note, like with your story and stuff like that, going from town to town, so like personally, like, I mean, both divorced parents, money was always tight. And I know like about how you would make money going from town to town playing music, which is amazing. How did you guys be more, since your parents were teaching you that and stuff like that, how did that apply with being on a budget, so to speak? I mean, because there's the cliche, hamburger's $1 or whatever at McDonald's versus, a salad. How did you apply that?
Just like with lifestyle on the road. Can you hear me, Brooks?
Now I can, yeah.
Like going town to town, it was like, the bus thing started out really, really fun. And it ended not as fun. My parents' marriage started to fall apart while we were out there. And my dad really struggled with depression. And so it started to fall apart. It's not a sustainable lifestyle in that time. We weren't going to school conventionally. We were homeschooling, but it was really not something that was sustainable. We couldn't really stay connected with our friends, and my parents really needed that support. And my dad was really struggling with clinical depression, and so I started playing my guitar on the street corner at these little festivals along the way. And I started playing for tips. I was probably like 9. And, you learned, I guess when you're young like that, you really learn. I knew we were poor. And that I kind of learned like the value of money and how important it was to share. I think that was one of the biggest things that I learned very early. It was, sharing helps you gain in relationships, that, makes you more trustworthy. You don't always get what you want. You hardly ever get what you really want. You learn patience and self-control and compromise. And, the value of $1 is something I'm still learning. I'm 31, and I'm still learning how to manage my money and do what's right with it. It's I do feel like I've been able to take some of those lessons I learned as a kid when we didn't have anything, and it's really made me appreciate the things that I have. I think I'm not alone in that. A lot of people grew up really, really humble and really poor. Even with this Christmas record, and tell me if I'm getting off topic, but
oh, you're good.
Asked, what was Christmas like for your family? I was the kid, whose mom was at the food bank on Christmas morning, like getting food at the food bank. And we were the family that, the local church would like gather all the presents, and they'd come and they'd give them to families in need. And we were on that stop. And I love that. I got to see the heart of humanity, and I got to see people really helping each other. And, I think money looks a lot different to me and always will because of where my family was.
That's amazing. Did
that answer your question? I feel like I went so far off topic.
It's okay. I started to as well. So with the question, but I got one final thing, and I'm trying to pull up the comment, but I can't find it. But the big question was consistent on here. Next album.
Oh, yeah. So we are writing for album number 2, and we've got a ton of good shit.
You're good.
Tons of it. It's been really, really fun is because of quarantine. So normally the summertime is our busiest time. We would have been on tour with Luke Bryan this year, which was so sick. We're still going to be on tour with them next year, but it's our busiest time. And if you're lucky, if you've had a successful record, you become that busy. So, we're really grateful for that. But because of that, it's kind of a flipped coin where you're not really home. You're not in Nashville enough to really be a part of writing your second record. It's like, that's why they call it the sophomore record curse, because artists really don't get to write as much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have your whole life to write album number 1, and then like 6 months to write album number 2. So because we weren't on the road, we were able to be super hands-on with this one, which is very, very exciting, which I think cancels out the curse, by the way.
Right. It totally did.
Yeah. So we are going to start recording early February and hopefully have something, music gets turned around so fast now. So I would say pretty short after that, you guys will hear something new.
Well, I think the excitement is there again especially through these comments. But in general, I can't wait to.
Thank you. It feels so good.
Especially as you guys have progressed and evolved and just everything. So that's super cool. Congrats on everything. Congrats on your personal news too.
Thank you.
I'm definitely going to take you up on that herbal fusion stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Infusion, because I'm truly interested in it, and I would love to know more.
Cool,
so
let's connect. I'll give you some more information. I'll tell you where to get them and how to do it. There's a little process that I'll teach you how to do it. It's so easy. You'll love this, by the way.
It sounds more intimidating than it is, I'm sure. Like once
100%.
you do it, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Awesome. Well, have a good night. And happy holidays too.
Happy holidays.
We'll see you around soon.
I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Merry Christmas.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry I couldn't get to a lot of I saw so many questions on here. It just, how sometimes these conversations can go. It's just a lot going on. But thank you so much if you did watch. You can follow me at Brooks Radio on all of our platforms. Like us on Facebook here at 95.5 WFMS and also on Instagram and Twitter. Take care, guys. Have a great night, and I will talk to you all soon.